Lesson 22. We read Hatha Yoga Pradipika, chapter 2, Sutra 11 to 20 before the break, elaborating on the practice of pranayama. What happened then is that in Sutra 21, the author of the book, Svatmarama, says, in my words, we have introduced pranayama. However, if somehow you are not ready for it yet, if somehow your condition is not good enough for pranayama yet, we suggest 6 exercises that will prepare you better for the practice of pranayama. We have done this before in the form of the Kriya exercises. So we skip the part that comes from Sutra 21 up to Sutra 38 because we've done that already when we learned about the Kriya exercises. And we continue reading chapter 2, Sutra 39. Even Brahma and the other gods devoted themselves to the practice of pranayama because of the fear of death. So one should practice control of energy. So this is, of course, symbolical language that Svatmarama uses to kind of underline the importance of not only pranayama, but the importance of vital energy. It sounds a little bit dramatic because he says that even the gods practiced pranayama because of the fear of death. Now, I mentioned before that when death is mentioned, it's not about physical death. It is the condition that most people around us are in, the tamas condition, the lack of vital energy that causes the dysfunction of the crown chakra. And you know the reason why this is so important, according to yoga and other spiritual practices, because that condition that is here symbolically called death, or the lack of vital energy, is the reason why people are not functioning in the crown chakra, is the reason why they do not possess insight, wisdom, intuition, is the reason why they cannot function from the heart. So they're lacking compassion, empathy, love, unconditional love, etc. All the wonderful characteristics that human beings potentially possess, they're just not manifesting without vital energy. This sutra, Svatmarama, is underlining, emphasizing the importance of vital energy. And one of the means to achieve that is with the practice of pranayama. But all elements of yoga are serving the same purpose. They're all designed to bring about that generation of vital energy and the opening up of the crown chakra. Sutra 40, so long as the energy is restrained in the body, so long as the mind is calm and steady, so long as the vision is directed to the center of the eyebrows, why should there be fear of death? There's not so much to explain about this. This is a continuation of the sutra that comes before it, symbolically emphasizing the importance of yoga and in general and pranayama in particular. 41, when the nadi chakra has been purified by a properly regulated course of pranayama, the energy forces open the mouth of the Sushumna and easily enter it. Nadi chakra represents the whole network of energy channels. So Nadi chakra is the energy household as a whole. So what this sutra is suggesting is that when you are when you have no obstacles in your energy channels anymore, remember Nadi Shodhana literally means cleansing the nadis or cleansing the energy channels. The purpose of Nadi Shodhana is to get rid of obstacles and blockages in the energy channels. This sutra tells us that if you practice yoga correctly, leading to an acceleration of energy and a cleansing or purification of the energy channels, the crown chakra is naturally activated. You don't have to do anything complicated for that other than just have more energy available. (42) When the energy flows through the Sushumna, the mind becomes steady. The steadiness of the mind is the state called Manonmani or Unmani. Sushumna Nadi, mentioned in the previous sutra as well, is that third channel that only functions when Shiva and Shakti are relatively in balance with each other. The sutra suggests that when your energy quality is poor, the mind, as a consequence, is restless. So most people are suffering from mental restlessness. The healthier you are, the calmer you naturally become as a result. So there is a direct link there. The steadiness of the mind is a state called Manonmani or Unmani. Remember, Unmani is the 3-syllable mantra belonging to the crown chakra. So indirectly he makes the link here with the functioning of the crown chakra. It's a silver lining that you find throughout everything basically related to yoga. It's all about the crown chakra. (43) To attain it, those who know the procedure practice various sorts of kumbhakas. By practice of the various kumbhakas, diverse siddhis are obtained. Kumbhakas is synonymous for pranayama. We call them pranayama exercises, but you will not see that in the book. When the book talks about the energy control exercises, they are referred to as kumbhakas, because the kumbhaka stage is the most important stage of the exercise. By the practice of the various kumbhakas or pranayama exercises, diverse siddhis are obtained. Siddhis are what we call supernatural or paranormal abilities. And I always wonder why we call them supernatural or paranormal, because that suggests that it's very rare. But every person has a potential to develop siddhis or paranormal or supernatural abilities. And in fact, you probably have them already, and you maybe don't even know it, because they're very subtle. Siddhis are what you call chikkam in Korea, intuition, presentiment, your ability to feel people's energy, people's condition, people's thoughts also and feelings, and not only when they're in your presence, but also when they are far away from you. So, see, these are actually, they're not paranormal and not supernatural, but indeed they are rare because most people are just lacking the energy for the siddhis to manifest. But siddhis also are related to the crown chakra. And they are nothing more than supersensitivity. A sensitivity that people in an unconditioned state are lacking. But as a yoga practitioner, you become increasingly sensitive, and that allows you to feel energies and vibration that other people are totally not aware of. And it is the information that you extract from these vibrations and energies that give you information of what is going on in your environment. And that is what is chikkam and what is intuition, presentiment, and all these other siddhis that are described in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the other Bible of Yoga. 44. The different kumbhakas are now described. There are 8 kumbhakas, namely Suryabedana, Ujjayi, Shitkari, Shitali, Bhastrika, Brahmari, Murcha, and Plavini. Out of these 8, we will learn 4 in this course. And with Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, that makes 5 actually. So we will learn Suryabedana, Ujjayi, Shitkari, and Shitali. 45. At the end of influx, the Jalandhara Bandha should be practiced at the end of Kumbhaka, and at the beginning of efflux, Uddiyana Bandha should be practiced. Now, this is very confusing, because what we learn and what we have learned is that the 3 bandhas are all done together at the same time during the Kumbhaka stage, not at the end of the inflow, or at the beginning of the outflow. So I asked Ajita about this sutra, and he also said that it caused confusion in him, and he discussed it with his mentors. And the suspicion is there that like with some of the other sutras, the author is trying to cause confusion deliberately to not allow people the art of yoga or the secrets of yoga by studying and practicing yoga without proper guidance of an initiated teacher. When you're properly initiated into yoga, you learn to disregard this sutra, and you learn that the 3 bandhas are confined, limited to the Kumbhaka stage only. 46. Contracting the throat in the Jalandhara Bandha and the anus in the Mula Bandha at the same time, and by drawing back the abdomen in the Uddiyana Bandha, the energy flows through the Sushumna. And Sushumna here in between brackets is called Brahma Nadi, and Brahma means God. So the divine channel, which again is a direct reference to the quality or the characteristic of the crown chakra. So like I explained before the break, contracting the throat, contracting the anus, and pulling the abdomen back, it is already happening simply by sitting very straight. So it's not something that you have to do deliberately. (47) Raising the apana upwards, ignore the text between square brackets. Raising the apana upwards, the prana should be brought downwards from the throat. The yogin then becomes a youth of 16, freed from old age. Apana prana is the energy characteristic for Muladhara chakra. Remember the Star of David in the heart that symbolizes the Shiva and Shakti balancing out at the level of the heart, leading to opening up of the heart and the crown chakra. That's basically described here. The apana prana should come up, but that alone is not enough. You then let energy or Shiva energy descend, and they meet, if it is correct, they meet at the level of the heart, leading basically to the highest development in yoga, Ananda. The yogin then becomes a youth of 16, freed from old age. That's a tricky one. Anybody who practices yoga feels healthier, more energetic, energized. You probably feel younger, but the suggestion here is that you literally become younger. And there's just one reality in life, and that is that physical aging cannot be stopped. Prahlajani, the yogi that didn't eat since he was 11 years old, he also died in his late 70s. Everybody sooner or later will die. But again, here, death or youthfulness is not about the physical body. Really spiritual people, also at high age, they are functioning almost like a child. They still have happiness, enthusiasm. They can be giddy like a little child, giggling, fooling around, joking, playing. And as an example of this, I always refer to the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu, who unfortunately died not so long ago. But the reason why I use those two as an example is because they were actually on very friendly terms with each other. One is a Buddhist, the other is a Catholic. They had no ideological obstacles between them, because spirituality is spirituality, whatever you call it. And a real spiritual person will never say, my religion is better than yours or superior compared to yours. And they embodied that. And the Dalai Lama and there are videos on YouTube, if you search a little bit, with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, Bishop Desmond Tutu together. And they are just like little children. They're like little children in 80-year-old bodies. And they joke with each other, and they are giggling like little children. very playful, and those are characteristics. That is what is being a youth of 16 mentioned here. If you meet a spiritual person or somebody who claims to be spiritual, who is very gray, doesn't have a sparkle, no enthusiasm, no happiness, is always very serious, does not appreciate jokes and pranks and what have you, you have to doubt whether they are actually truly spiritual. Because all these characteristics that I just described are simply part of the crown chakra. So any person who is truly spiritual, whether you do yoga or are a Christian or a Buddhist, if you're truly spiritual, you have all these characteristics naturally. You can be very serious, of course, that's part of life and sometimes required, but most of the time you'll just be very playful and you have a sense of humor, and your ego is under control, of course, otherwise it's impossible. Any joke will offend you if you're not in control of ego. That is probably something that you will be confronted with in your relationships, that you become more playful and people take that as an offense, thinking that you have a bad intention of joking and fooling around and so on. While actually it's being very light-hearted, and it's really sparkling in the crown chakra when you feel like that. So that is what a youth of 16 means. It doesn't mean that you will live forever, that your body will reverse in aging. Of course, you will feel healthier and stronger and younger than other people your age, but this is not about the physical body. It's really about how you function in the crown chakra especially. All right, that's it. The next sutra introduces Surya Bedana Pranayama, so we will get to that in a couple of weeks. Questions? Next week we will continue reading the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, but starting in chapter 1. And we will go through the entire chapter in 2 weeks' time. All right, let's have a short break.